Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today and welcome to Carleton. My name is Emily and I'm a recruitment officer at Carleton, and I'm also a proud alumni of Carleton. So I graduated from our Bachelor of Arts Criminology and Criminal Justice program just over 2 years ago now. And I had a great university experience. And that is why I came back and I chose to be a recruitment officer at Carleton. So I'm really excited to talk to you today about what we offer at Carleton, but more specifically, I'm going to hopefully answer some of your burning questions if you're a college student looking to transfer to university, or if you're in CEGEP and you're looking to come to university. So hopefully by the end of this presentation, I've answered all of your questions, but if you have any burning questions, feel free to use the Q&A function to ask those questions, and my colleagues here in the back end will be happy to get to those. So I just want to start this presentation off by acknowledging that Carleton University, our campus, is located on the traditional unceded territories of the Algonquin Nation. And before I jump into sort of the meat and potatoes of this presentation, I just want to let you know that there are multiple ways that you can stay connected with us throughout the whole year. So every Wednesday, like today, at 5 p.m., we're hosting different Live at 5 sessions with different topics each week. So this week's topic is introducing college transfer students to Carleton and CEGEP students to Carleton. I know that next week we're having one done by my colleague Stanley, and he's going to be talking about the parliamentary page program that we offer here at Carleton. So definitely tune into that in 1 week from today. We also have the Talking Raven podcast on Spotify. That's also hosted by my colleague Stanley, who's in the picture right there. So if you want to hear from students, staff, faculty, even the president of Carleton about what's going on campus and all the cool things that are happening, then definitely check out the Talking Raven podcast on Spotify. And then finally, we have future Raven coffee breaks. So that's really a chance for you to connect with us. So I know that right now you can see me, I'm presenting to you, but I can't see you. So if you want to be able to meet with one of us, one of our recruitment officers, we would love to. What you can do is you can go to our website, and that website is going to be linked in the chat right there for you. You can go into our website and request a virtual coffee break, and you can let us know what program you're interested in so that we can match you with one of our staff members who graduated from that program or a similar program, so you can get all of those questions answered. But one more thing that I want to add is we do have a general presentation that we do every day, Monday through Thursday, and they happen at 11 a.m., 12 p.m., and 4 p.m. So if you want sort of, a deeper dive into Carleton, all of the programs that we offer, different services and supports that we offer, and kind of who we are as a university, then definitely check us out at any one of our general presentations so that we can answer those questions for you. So let me just start off by giving you an overview of the different faculties and the different programs that we have at Carleton. So at Carleton, we have 5 different faculties. We have Public Affairs, Science, our Sprott School of Business, Engineering and Design, and Arts and Social Sciences. Now, each one of these programs is led by professors who are doing innovative and cutting-edge research. Each one has experiential learning opportunities that are available to you as students. And each one has, it's very unique because what you're studying in the capital city of Canada. So for me, I graduated from criminology, so I got to have really cool opportunities such as visit the Supreme Court of Canada, which is located right by Parliament Hill. And I got to go there and watch some really high-profile cases taking place, which I would not have gone anywhere else. So we have a bunch of really cool opportunities. I know that with engineering, some of my friends who graduated from engineering got to work on a variety of projects with their fellow students throughout their undergrad. So not necessarily just in 4th year when that research usually happens, but they actually get to do those research and those really cool projects right from 1st year. So if you want to learn more about our programs, what you can do is you can go to Carleton 360. So that's 360.carleton.ca. You can sign up for an account, and then you can browse all of our programs. You can let us know what you're interested in. We'll send you specific information about the program that you're interested in. We'll send you information about events that are taking place that highlight those programs, and you can also see what our current students and our graduates are up to as well. So definitely check that out and do a deeper dive into all of the programs that we have. And again, you can ask any questions in the Q&A function that we have here. Okay, so as a college student and as a CEGEP student, I know that this is probably what you're really most, wondering about. This is probably where you have questions, is surrounding admission requirements and transfer credit. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that and sort of dissect that for you now. So first, I'm going to start with Ontario college students. So it's important to know that for admission, each of our programs, we have 22 programs, each one has a different set of requirements and a different set of prerequisite courses that we would need. So you'll have to have a look at the program that you're interested in and see what courses you need to get into those programs, and to see what grade point average you'll need as well. So it's important to know that we look at all post-secondary education that you have. So anything that you've done after high school, if you've done, 2 different diplomas, if you've gone to 2 different schools or 3 different schools, we're going to be looking at everything, not just the most, not just the most previous schooling that you've done or the most recent studies. We're looking at the whole picture. So just keep that in mind. And we're looking for students with a minimum 3.0 average on a 4.0 scale. So that's equivalent to about a B average. So just important things to keep in mind. But again, look at those program requirements, because that's really what, it's going to differ depending on what you want to study at Carleton. Now, the point about looking at all post-secondary education, that includes any education that you've had outside of Canada. So if you did any schooling after high school outside of Canada, we will be looking at that as well. Now, for CEGEP students, we have some different requirements. So we still need to see, those prerequisite courses that are listed. But what you need if you're a CEGEP student is 1 year minimum of CEGEP. And a minimum of 12 academic courses within the DEC or 3-year diploma program. So academic courses include, any science courses, business courses, social sciences, math. Something like outdoor ed would not be considered an academic course. Now, out of those 12 pre-university courses need to be your prerequisites, and no individual prerequisite grade can be below 60%. So for those prerequisite courses that you need, we need to see that you've achieved above a 60% in order to be considered for admission. Now, English or Anglais is highly recommended or strongly recommended. And if you have done your CEGEP completely in French and you don't have any English, you may be required to submit an English language test score, but that's done on an individual basis or a case-by-case basis. So if you're not sure, or if you have any questions about sort of what your application might look like or what we might need from you, you can send us an email at liaison@carleton.ca, and one of my colleagues is going to just put it in the Q&A for you so that you have that email easily accessible for you. So that pretty much covers everything for admission requirements. It's also important to note that if you have more than those, so for CEGEP students, if you have more than 12 pre-university courses, then you may be considered for something called advanced standing. So admission with advanced standing. And advanced standing is the same thing as transfer credits. So we get this question a lot. If you've taken relevant courses in your CEGEP or college, we know that you'll want it to transfer over to Carleton. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, things surrounding transfer credit, some important things for you to know. So when I say advanced standing or transfer credit, essentially those two things are the same. So all Ontario, all post-secondary graduates are considered for advanced standing. So when you apply to Carleton, we're going to look at your transcript. And if you are a college student, then we will try to transfer as many credits as possible. But transferability really depends on the mark that you received in the class, how relative it is to the class that you're taking here or the program that you're taking here at Carleton. Is it a required course? So there's a few different things that we are looking at when it comes to transfer credits. But for college students, we do try to transfer as many credits as possible. Now, for CEGEP students, you can have a maximum of 5 transfer credits. So that means 5 credits is equivalent to 10 courses, which is equivalent to 1 year of study. So we can do a maximum of 5 for CEGEP students, and then we try to do, there's no cap for college students. We just try to do as many as possible. But we do assess for that once you have applied to Carleton. Now, I'm going to give you a really handy website, and again, one of my colleagues is actually going to link it for you in our Q&A here. So this website you can go to, it's on our admissions page, and it lays out all of the courses. If you are an Ontario college student, it lists every single college, and underneath every college, it lists every single course that would automatically transfer over to Carleton. So have a look at that. Find the college that you're at right now or the college that you graduated from. See, it lists the different programs even that we have pathway agreements with. And then you can see if the course that you're currently taking or of courses that you already took are on that list, and it will tell you exactly if it will automatically transfer over. So anything you see on that list will transfer over, which means that you will definitely get that as a transfer credit. So it's a really handy website that you can use, and I recommend checking that out for sure. So those are pretty much the important things about transfer credits, but it's also just really important to note that they are done on, an individual basis and a case-by-case basis, and our admission officers will again look at your transcript, and we will try to transfer as much as possible, but sometimes we will require you to submit official course descriptions or syllabi just to see what exactly it is you studied in that class and to see if it's really relevant or really related to the course that you would be taking here at Carleton. So lots of information about transfer credit, but again, you can always send us an email if you have any really important questions, or connect with us on a virtual coffee break, and we would be happy to answer any questions that you may have. So I talked a little bit about Carleton 360 a few minutes ago, and I just want to remind you to do that again, because if you sign up for Carleton 360, not only can you view our programs and sort of get an insider look into our campus, but you can also have the chance to receive some really cool Raven swag, like the sweaters or the mask that you see here in this picture. So sign up for Carleton 360. In order to receive this swag, in order for a chance to receive this swag, you must request that we mail you a view book. So you'll see a button there that says mail me a view book. Click that. We will mail you a view book, and then you might be lucky enough to receive a little treat, a little Carleton treat with that stuff. So now I'm actually going to introduce to you a real live CEGEP student. Well, she's not in CEGEP anymore, but her name is Talia. And Talia was a Carleton student. She recently graduated, but I'm going to bring Talia on here. She's going to introduce herself. And then I'm going to ask Talia some questions so that you can get sort of a feel of, what it's like, and you can get some real life examples from a CEGEP student. So hello, Talia. Welcome.
Hi. How's it going?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today. Do you want to give everyone sort of an introduction and share a little bit about your Carleton story?
Yeah, for sure. So I was once a CEGEP student in Montreal, and around the time when I was trying to figure out where to go to university, what to do, Carleton was one of the first booths, if not the first booth, that I saw and went to when they visited my CEGEP. And through some ups and downs and some trying to figure out what I want to do with my life in university, I ended up at Carleton. And like so many years later, I've graduated, and yeah, I miss it a lot.
That's awesome. And I know that you really love Carleton and that you wanted to continue on doing your schooling. So you graduated from Carleton, and what are you doing now with your degree?
Yeah, so I graduated from Carleton this past June with an honors BA in linguistics and a minor in psychology, and I'm currently in grad school, which is super cool.
That's awesome. And I know you mentioned that, there were some ups and downs when trying to choose a university, and I think that it's really important to let, students know that that's super normal, especially during these times. But yeah, so I'm going to just jump in here and ask you some questions if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first question for you is, what made you choose Carleton?
What made me choose Carleton? Definitely the people. Again, from the first time that they visited my CEGEP to the Ontario University Fair and other events, everyone was just so nice and genuine, and they made me feel like I would love Carleton and I would be like home, and it really did end up being one of the best decisions. So definitely the people.
That's awesome. And I think that, we get that answer a lot with our current students and our graduates, is that Carleton felt very, homey, and we really felt the community. So that's great. And how did you find your transition from CEGEP to university? Do you think, were there any big challenges? Do you think there were any advantages coming from CEGEP rather than coming from, a high school, or how did you find it?
Yeah, definitely. I found one of the biggest advantages coming from CEGEP is that you already know what this post-secondary ambiance or environment is. So anything from learning about the importance of academic integrity to email etiquette to just knowing what a lecture feels like and the amount of work to put in. I definitely feel like CEGEP gave me those skills. So when I came to university, I felt like the transition was a little smoother. But again, there are some challenges with that. In any new situation, any new program, I felt that it took me some time to figure out how to study and how to organize myself so that I can be in the, best position for success.
Right. And it sounds like, you talk about email etiquette and that sort of thing. It sounds like coming in from CEGEP, maybe you had a level of maturity, a kind of an advanced level of maturity, which could definitely be super advantageous and helpful for students coming from college, and CEGEP is already having sort of a little bit of that experience under their belt. So that's awesome. My next question for you is, how did you become involved on campus?
This is such a difficult question to answer, but I got involved. I fell into a lot of different things. When I came to Carleton, I had already had friends who were part of one student club. So when I came to Carleton, I immediately joined that student club. It was the Armenian Students Association, and then through other, opportunities, either by working as a tour guide on the grounds of Parliament Hill or being a student ambassador for the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, I got involved with being a campus tour guide and having wonderful opportunities to help out during fall and spring and winter campus days and meet some amazing people.
That's awesome. So obviously it sounds like you got super involved, and that's always such a good thing, or it's good experience to have when going to Carleton. So I'm glad that you were able to get involved, and hopefully you're able to inspire other people to also become involved in those ways. Now I have another question here for you. What would you say is your favorite thing about Carleton?
Oof. There cannot be one single thing that's my favorite part. Like I said, the people are amazing. The professors really love what they do. They have such a passion for their research and their job, but they also have a passion for teaching, and they really do care about their students. I would say that's one thing that was my favorite thing about Carleton, and I feel so lucky to have had that experience. And one of the other things that's my favorite part is the campus itself. We're so lucky to be kind of nestled by all this greenery, by the Rideau Canal, by the Rideau River. I've seen people portage and have their canoes up, or I feel like I'm one of the only few people who can say I skated to work. Because I would work downtown, or I have a 15-minute break or a 10-minute break between classes. Let me hop down and get a beaver tail and come back. But especially during those winter months when when I could venture outside to do all those things, the Carleton tunnels definitely a big part of the community and student life. You can avoid the cold for sure, and I definitely miss it a lot.
Yeah, and you really hit the nail on the head. You kind of touched on so many things that make our campus so unique. So I'd have to agree with you. That's a tough question because it's hard to pick just one thing, but you definitely named quite a few of my favorite things. So that's awesome. Another question for you. Did you receive any transfer credit when you came from CEGEP?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so good to know. I know that a lot of students like that, those are their questions, is like, will I receive transfer credit? And sometimes I talk to students who are a little bit stressed about that, but obviously, you know, you are a real life example of someone who did receive transfer credit. So that would have been super helpful, I'm sure. And I have one more question for you, one final question. What is one piece of advice that you would give to college students or college graduates or CEGEP students who are looking to transfer or looking to apply to university?
Yeah, for sure. I would say one of the first things you can do is go to the events. I believe all the next ones or the ones coming up are all going to be online. Definitely be involved, because it's here where you get to really engage with the people who you could be surrounded by in university. That's one way to really get a feel for is like what university life is like and what you can expect. But on that end, also one piece of advice I would give to college and CEGEP students is go see academic advisors often, and don't be afraid of that. When I was at Carleton, I went to academic advisors once a year at the beginning of the year, just to make sure everything is okay, from looking at my transfer credits to more specific academic things, and not just the university's academic advisors, but my department has had specific more specialized academic advisors that could give me tips and tricks and advice on what specific linguistics courses I could take during certain semesters. So doing that, definitely, I feel like it put me one step ahead and made me feel like I was doing all right.
That is such a good piece of advice, and I know that students often may be a little bit shy or nervous to go seek out help or support. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that, and that piece of advice is what you thought was important to give. So with that, Talia, I just want to thank you so much for coming on and answering these questions for us. Even as a Carleton graduate, it's so nice to have you come back and help us out with this. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Alrighty, folks, so you just heard from Talia. Hopefully this presentation was able to ease a little bit of your stress if you're maybe feeling a little bit overwhelmed or, uneasy about applying to university or about choosing a university. But like I said, you can always connect with us by sending us an email. You can also check out our website. I already said it twice, but sign up for that Carleton 360 account. And you can stay connected with us on all of our social media channels. We're on Facebook and we're on Instagram and we're on Twitter. So definitely stay connected with us. Come to our events, talk to us, and let us know what your questions are, because we want to keep the conversation going and we want to be able to support you throughout this entire process. So once again, thank you so much for joining us and good luck with everything.